name is Karen Williams. I'm making this video file today to help illustrate to you exactly what's going on towards me. First of all, I want to emphasize to you that what's going on towards me has multiple aspirations, and it began through multiple avenues. My parents, and through who they're connected to. Gang stalking, I have a printout right now, and you can find it online by typing in at Google, "A GangStalker confesses," and thoroughly reading it. There's actually two versions of that's on the internet right now. You want to look for the shorter version of it. And basically what it states is who they're connected to, how they operate, what they're capable of, and how expeditions are brought about against targets. I'm getting over a bad cold. Alright, so what is the story of this particular video? If you're a gang stalking target, you can be picked for multiple reasons and multiple aspirations behind the reason why you were targeted. A person can be picked for gang stalking just because they're a whistleblower, they witnessed something at the wrong time, and as a result of being gang stalked, they can then be used for multiple aspirations because it's protected by the government, literally. It's sick and it's sad and it's pathetic. It took me a long time to believe this because I had to exhaust the avenues that I ran to for help, and as a result of not getting help and then later seeing how they were used, I started believing what was already online concerning it. And I'm talking about newspapers, even some TV crews can be attached to gang stalking. And yeah, I'm not saying all of them, I'm just saying sometimes that can be the case. David Lawson talked about that. He wrote a book about gang stalking. Okay, so what's happening towards me? Well, they pick a person can be actually picked for human experimentation when they're a kid, and then they can be let go of, and then but they'll still be tracked since this is governmentally involved, because research is also human experimentation is a big aspect of this. So the point I'm trying to make to you here is that a target may be picked as a child for one reason, and then they're just thrown to the wolves later on in life. But they're still kept track of. And oh God, where did I begin? Because you know, right now, what we have to understand is this also: the organized crime that has this technology is directly attached to military personnel and directly attached to the federal government, who then trickles that technology also down to local crime groups, wealthy corporations. The wealthy can get a hold of it, and oh God, I forgot what I was gonna say. Sorry, I got attention deficit, so let's see. Anyways, I'm having one of those brain freezes. I want to help illustrate to you what's going on towards me. Connie Marshall, she's got God, I feel so sorry for that woman. She's been through hell. She's got some blogs out right now, and I was just actually reading one of hers yesterday, and she talked about how one of the main reasons why she believes she was targeted was because she made a lot of noise about her grandchildren being legally kidnapped, which was true. Because it's organized crime infested within the system. Now, to help you understand what's going on towards me and how they operate, go to Google again and type in a GangStalker confesses and print it out. And the best way to deal with that printout is to thoroughly read it and then try and section what you print out in a word program. In other words, make separate paragraphs of the manifesto, and then in relation to how they operate, you know, who they're connected to, and so on and so forth. So when you go back to reference it, once you start researching gang stalking, then you can, it's easier for you to be able to go right to certain paragraphs and find out what you need in reference to how they operate, which is described online. That's what I did. Now, okay, Google, 4 mentally disabled individuals locked in a basement in Philadelphia. By an individual who had obtained power of attorney of these individuals. One was kept for 11 years, one was kept for 7 years, and I don't remember how long the other two were kept for. They were literally chained to broilers, I guess is what you call them, or boilers, in a basement that was actually just like a little storage room in a basement. They used them for target practice. It's just sickening. They had power of attorney over them. And what they did was they basically kept them in the basement so they can continue to steal their Social Security disability checks. Now, those individuals that had a hold of those 4 mentally disabled individuals, they had identification cards of 50 other people on disability. Now, it says it all over the internet that these people go after people on disability. They go after single women, single mothers. They go after minorities. They go after the elderly, and they can go after specific individuals that have trust funds, trust fund liquidation. They're in the land co-opting, and so on and so forth. Excuse me. I just got done eating, so I always have to have a cereal when I get done eating. This is what's happening in part towards me. In other words, they got multiple aspirations for me. What they do is they break down women's lives by stealing their rent, or because they got power positions in the community. And that means in the power positions to intimidate property owners that might own an apartment building, to threaten them through multiple avenues, like city inspectors coming out and finding them for things, raising their taxes. And they even engage in imploding businesses. It literally flat out says it on the GangStalker Professor's printout. They're capable of a lot of nasty stuff. And what they'll do is, since they got these power positions in the community, to even blacklist targets. I'm on disability, so I can only work part-time, but I can't even do that. Because of the simple fact that I know I would be blacklisted. I tried to find a part-time job in Connecticut, and I filled out 12 applications. And with my work history and my education, come on, you can't even get a job at Subway that's hiring. It's all over the internet. They engage in blacklisting. So what they do is they tear down people's lives that fit the parameter of the people that they go after that's already aforementioned in this video, and they tear their lives down to create destitution, so they can then make the target more exposed to the environment. They'll stage vehicle accidents so they don't even have a car to sleep in, which in turn makes them take public transportation, where they are openly harassed and gang stalked along all their routes. The business community is notified, and this is a book right here called Closing the Gap, okay, and it literally says it right on there, gang stalking and community notifications. That proves literally right there, and plus it's all over the internet, like on the front of www.gangstalkerworld.com. What these individuals do, and they also have syndicated members within the business community, and what they do is they basically do nothing but harass the target everywhere they go to try and break them down mentally and psychologically. They also employ electronic harassment towards them on a daily basis, and they also use other technology, which is called remote neural monitoring, remote neural influencing, and remote neural stimulating, as well as other extreme technology that has extreme capabilities like you would not believe. And this is all done to continue to break down a target, because they make money off the effects of a target being broken down as a result of them being tortured. This is the true, literal, heinous nature of this crime. Hang on a second. So, how do they make money? When a target breaks down that's on Social Security, what they do is they see they're breaking down because they're monitored constantly. Whether they're in a home, whether they're in a motel room, campsite, RV, car, anywhere, they're monitored. And as a result of the monitoring, what they're able to do in the stalking, they're able to literally ascertain if a target's breaking down and calling 911. And as a result, they're shipped off to a hospital, because they're literally deliberately pipelined to a syndicated doctor, who then works hand in hand with syndicated hospital administrative staff to bilk Medicare out of thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars each and every time that a target breaks down. Now, the people that they're connected to have literally set up billing corporations. What they are is they're really nothing but fly-by-night places that are called billing services. And what they do is they are the controllers of their billing. Literally work hand in hand in the bilking of the Medicare. And all these thousands of dollars that are generated off a 7 to 10 to 21 hospital day stay, even more, will funnel that money they end up getting from Medicare back into the hands of the people that participated in it. So all you have to do is thoroughly research gang stalking, and in fact, I remember even looked this up, Gangstalking and Insurance Fraud. Alright, this video is starting to get long. I got to make it into a YouTube one, which means it can only be 15 minutes, but this is one of the avenues they make money off of a target. The other avenue is to eventually contain the target by saying the target cannot take care of themselves as a result of the destitution they're in that they covertly create by stealing their rent check, intimidating landlords, bribing landlords, and to create the homelessness. Then they exploit the fact that the target's homeless by stating that the target cannot take care of themselves, because how I mentioned to you that they're shipped, when they break down, they're shipped to the hospital, that doctor will falsely diagnose them with a disorder. And that's done for two reasons: to make it look like the billing was done legally in reference to a diagnosis, and to discredit the target, because once those accumulated diagnoses are documented, they'll combine them, stage a big incident, and bring the target before a syndicated judge, and he'll sign over power of attorney to make the target a legal ward of the state. And then a syndicated individual, just like the one that had legal custody of those 4 mentally disabled people in Philadelphia had. She had power of attorney and fit the identification cards of fellow people that are on disability, and this is how they operate. Then once they get a hold of a target, through the syndicated power of attorney, they place them in a home where they're sexually abused and sexually entrained. And whatever is entrained in reference to, they use violence to tell a target that we're going to keep doing this to you until you give up sex. So then the target starts to think to themselves, okay, I got to cooperate, or I'm going to get beat up, I'm going to get my arm broke, whatever. As a result of them thinking this and then cooperating, what is entrained neurally is identified and marked through remote neural monitoring, and then stimulated on any date for any man they bring along that target's path in the home or in a place where they have activities that are mandatory that a target has to attend as a result of being in the home. And they stimulate that neural network that was entrained back in current time, and therefore that thinking is brought back in current time and acted out again, and here you have it, a literal sexual slave, and that's a result of the remote neural monitoring. So the whole goal, literally, is to create nothing but a sexual slave, okay, to make money off that angle, to bilk the Medicare because they're constantly being put back in the hospital every 30 to 40 days through staged incidences that happen in the house, and then targets blamed on them. They are then told they have to go to the hospital to get on medication because they're out of control. And then that's all staged. Those incidences are scheduled on days to where the syndicated doctors are working, so they can then turn around and do the same thing again to the target, bilk Medicare out of thousands and thousands of dollars, and it's all kicked back to every single person that played a role in it. The ones that own the syndicated homes, the fire department, EMS personnel that are syndicated in it, the cops that are syndicated on their chain that will protect the syndicated home in case the target ever breaks away and calls 911, like runs to a neighbor or whatever. Through them seeing the target is literally leaving, they literally get on their phone and they'll call the syndicated police officer that are on duty that day, and literally prevent a target from ever escaping. And this is what's done. Torture for money. I'm learning disabled, and this is what's happening to me. I have to live this way every single day of my life because of this is going on towards me in San Diego. It's a nationwide syndicate. It's happening in literally every state. It's nothing but organized crime that is infested in the system and allowed by the system because of the organized crime that is literally infested within the system. They did the same thing to Connie Marshall. They took her grandchildren because they got taken from her, placed in the syndicated home, and each child that got taken from her, that syndicated home applied for federal funding per child. It's nothing but money and torture and illegal kidnapping for profit. My name is Leslie Williams. Google, a Pennsylvania judge gets 28 years for sentencing children to full-time sentences in a detention center. He got kickbacks from that, and that's how they operate.